and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the February 8th, 2024 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year. Joining me today is Commissioner Aaron Mays, Commissioner Bill Rippon. We have Chris Otto filling in as our county clerk, and then we have Mr. Eckert as our county counselor. Madam Clerk, our first item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There are a number of items, those being listed A through P. Are there any questions regarding, or is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers totaling $5,992,754.15. A couple of items to note on there. Under 911 telephone, we've got $216,390.61 to Motorola Solutions. That is for our annual contract. And then under multiple departments, this is the big one, $2,044,803 to Willis Towers Watson is for our insurance premiums. I don't have any questions or concerns on this, and if you don't, then I will move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, Department of Corrections. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of a memoranda of understanding, contract C-55-2024, business associate agreement, and contract C-56-2024, care coordination agreement with Vallejo Behavioral Health Care to improve management of interest for shared clients.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. As you probably know, we have a long-standing relationship with Vallejo as the Community Mental Health Center because we have common interests with a number of our inmates and their clients. The purpose of these memoranda is to make it more efficient and be able to share information more freely between us and Vallejo and do a better job of managing the care of those clients. So be happy to answer any other questions if you have them.
Any questions?
No.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-57-2024 between Haley Counseling Services and the Shawnee County Department of Corrections Juvenile Detention Center for the Family Peace Initiative program. The cost of the agreement is $18,400 and will be paid for from the inmate wellness account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela McCarty, Department of Corrections. I'm here today for approval, requesting approval for a contract between the Haley Counseling Services and the Juvenile Detention Center. The Family Peace Initiative program is a trauma-informed program, addresses aggressive and assaultive behaviors with our juvenile males. We've had this program in our detention facility for the last 5 years. We think it's a pretty valuable program to our youth. And the cost of this program, again, is coming through our inmate wellness account and not our actual detention budget. So I stand for any questions if you have any.
We have seen positive results as a result of this program over the last 5 years.
Yes, within our detention facility for sure, yes.
You mentioned that it was for the males. Why not for females?
Currently, the program initially was developed for males and plus we also have a lot more males in our facility. Currently, we only have 1 to 2 females in our facility at a time. So that has been the focus for the last few years. It's just been on the males.
Okay.
And the males tend to have a lot more violent behaviors, and they're coming in for more violent crimes as well.
Other questions? Motion?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Thank you very much. Our next item.
Item C, Public Works, number 1. Consider approval of a project budget, $1,072,700, and a request to solicit construction bids for a pavement replacement project on Northwest 46th Street at US 75, Hiawatha Place to Oakley Avenue. Project costs will be funded using funds from the 2024 Public Works operating budget and the Public Works Special Road Improvement Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. We've talked about this project before. This is one of my heavy maintenance contract-let projects. Originally, I wanted to do this work, because of cost, I wanted to do this work over a 2-year period. Unfortunately, the winter has been extremely brutal on pavements, as you know. And our maintenance folks are spending not daily, but twice a week out there patching those joints. So I think I've changed my mind. I want to do all of this work this year if possible. So I'm asking you to approve a project budget. Again, it's approximately $1.75 million. And then approval to solicit bids for construction. I look forward to your questions.
Questions for Kurt?
So it looks like the price here is not 1.75, it's 1.07.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm at 1.075. You are correct, yeah. Thank you.
Kurt, what's your timetable on it? What does that look like?
Well, we'd like to do as much of this work over the summer school break, and I know schools don't have complete breaks like they used to, but at least there's less school buses out on the road. So we'd like to let this project on April 5th, that's a Friday, start work April 29th, and finish October 25th.
Don't we already have the roundabout as a project that you're working on there?
Say that again, Bill?
The roundabout?
Yeah, the ellipse, we work there, and we'll work on the 2 east-west approaches
Okay.
between, gosh, whatever the limits were, Hiawatha and Oakley.
So will there be any time where everything's shut down?
No, we're hoping,
Keep everything
as
open?
I said originally here a couple months ago, this is mostly a traffic control project, and we do not intend to shut the road completely down.
Okay. All right. People will be glad to hear that.
Godspeed.
We'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook,
Second.
second by Commissioner Mays. He beat you to it, Commissioner
Oh,
Rippon.
sorry.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, in relation to the KDOT Shawnee County South Topeka Boulevard Signal Replacement Project, please consider authorization and execution of an authority to award contract and a commitment of county funds in the amount of $189,536.79. This funding commitment will be paid for using the Public Works Special Road Improvement Account.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. We've been talking about this signal project on South Topeka Boulevard for over 3 years. We're getting closer. KDOT had a letting. We've had a pre-construction meeting. The contractor essentially waiting on poles for delivery. And these are fabricated poles. They're fabricated in a facility just west of Omaha in Nebraska. And there's quite a lead time on these poles. So we're waiting to have those poles fabricated. But in the meantime, as I said, the project was let by KDOT. Because Shawnee County has some money in the project, KDOT wants to make sure that we're okay with the amount that was let, which is approximately $1.76 million, 1.76. And so they want to make sure, since we're paying 10% of that, we can afford it. Some counties, they've had a letting where, you know, the letting amount was so much more than the estimate, it turned out the county couldn't pay their portion. So this is just a formality that makes certain we're okay with the let amount, which we are, at least Public Works. We're recommending that you approve this commitment or this award amount, and then we commit approximately $190,000 to the project. If you approve this commitment, we'll cut a check as I know it's more complex than that, but we'll get a check to KDOT and everything will be on its way for construction.
Kurt, I know we've talked about it before, but can you talk to us again? We're talking about a $1.7 million project for a street light.
Three street,
Yeah.
three signals, traffic signals. That gives you an idea of when we started this project, the cost of the project was about half of what we're talking now. And in the time, 3.5 years between then and now, prices have gone up so much, mainly on these fabricated signal poles, that we're now talking about $1.7 million.
So the reason this falls under KDOT is because it's US Highway 75?
No, the reason it falls under KDOT is because Shawnee County requested funds, shared funds, to construct these 3 signal poles. They're more than just poles, but these 3 signal systems. This is a shared program. It's part of their safety improvement program. So that's why we're paying 10%, KDOT's paying 90% of construction. It's not because Topeka Boulevard, which used to be US 75, it's because this is a shared program that we applied for those funds.
So if we were looking at putting in a signal light at 29th and Urish, as opposed to the roundabout, or some of the Urish roundabouts, and ones that are county responsibility. If we put in traffic signals instead of roundabouts, would we be looking at a similar cost on those streetlights?
Well, remember, this 1.7, let's say 1.8, that's for 3 locations, so maybe you take,
A third of that.
Third
yeah,
of that.
and say 600,000 for a single location. It would probably be slightly more because there's an economy of scale here, but I would assume $750,000 for a single installation.
Commissioner Mays?
It probably also would have been done in a month or two. I mean, if we did that, this has been drawn out by, because we had to deal with the railroads also, so.
Yeah, that's right. The project timeline has been so extended because of railroad issues. But again, now we're waiting on fabrication of these poles that have tremendously increased in price.
Last question I have, and again,
Sure.
I don't want to get us too far off into the weeds and away from this, but if we have traffic projects that come up in the future where we would need to add a signal light instead of a roundabout, do we have the ability to apply to KDOT for that same type of assistance in projects?
Absolutely.
And is that limited just to the county, or can municipalities do it too?
No, that's you would compete with every other municipality or county throughout the state. It would be a competitive, and so there's no guarantees.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Item D, Noxious Weed Department, number 1. Consider approval of a request to solicit bids for herbicides for the 2024 season.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Landon, Director of the Weed Department. This is just our annual coming to you and asking for permission to go out for bids for chemicals for the 2024 season. I anticipate that this year we'll be looking at pretty favorable conditions as the market seems to have been decreasing since last year sometime. So that's basically it. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. Yeah, I have.
Questions for John?
Just, how's the supply line now? Can you get what you're ordering?
Good. You know, there's no hiccups in the system right now. Everything looks good. Of course, we'll come back to you once the bids are all tabulated and kind of decide what we did. Just to refresh your memory, over the last couple of years, Commissioners, we've waived the purchasing policy and bought as we needed chemicals. This year, I don't know whether we'll be in that same boat again, but last year, by doing so, we saved about $20,000 on chemicals. And so it's a little bit more work for me to keep track of it and stay on top of it, but the savings was well worth it. And so we will look at it. I will let you know what the market does, and if it starts to taper off, we may not choose to go that route. So.
Any other questions?
No? I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider approval to fill a full-time applicator 2 position.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Landon, Director of the Weed Department again. We have interviewed a candidate with exceptional skills and experience. He already has his licensing from KDA in Category 5 aquatics, 6 right-of-way, 9 noxious weeds. He's attended basic school, so he has the qualifications that he could step in and be the weed director in case I got hit by a truck on the way to work in the morning. So with that, like I said, he's an exceptional candidate. He's worked for Shawnee County before. He knows our program. He knows what's going on, all of our contracts. And so I'm asking for permission to start him at range 12, step 5. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
So this is going to be an additional applicator for the 13 contracts that we just approved under the consent agenda.
That is correct, Commissioners. Last year during budget time, I had requested a new spray applicator, and this is to fill that vacancy.
Okay. Any other questions? Motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you, John.
Commissioners.
Our next item.
Item E, Emergency Management, number 1, consider approval of $29,350 from CIP 24 to make the purchase of a vehicle from the Kansas Highway Patrol and outfit the vehicle using the remaining funds approved for CIP 24.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jake Henry, Emergency Management. Description is accurate. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
In your memorandum, it says that we have been on the waiting list to get a vehicle from the Highway Patrol, and that our waiting time has now arrived.
That's correct.
So our delivery would be immediate, or?
They said that it would take maybe a couple weeks
Okay.
to finish the prep, essentially. Remove the equipment that isn't going to remain in the vehicle, such as radar.
Okay. Questions?
No, I appreciate the resourcefulness in finding these vehicles. I mean, we see it with the sheriff's department, how much these cost brand new, and so to find, a good vehicle that's already, pursuit rated, like all that, at a decent price is rare, and so I appreciate you guys doing the work to make that happen. So I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item F, Parks and Recreation, number 1. Approval is requested for the emergency purchase utilizing Midwest Coating to install a new roof system for the Central Park Community Center gym section at a cost of $74,950 and authorization and execution of contract C58 2024 for the same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Director of the Parks and Recreation Department. So we've got a leaky gym roof at Central Park that's unfortunately leaking down on our wooden gym floor, which is an issue for us and all the users. So we would like to, we're requesting an emergency repair. Midwest Coatings is a company that we've worked with a lot. They essentially have gotten most of, if not all of our flat roof bids in the past, so we're confident they'll do a good job. As a matter of fact, recently, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, we did another section of that Central Park roof, and they were the vendors. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. We will be paying for this out of our building maintenance fund.
Tim, this is one that I had actually got a call from several people while there was a basketball tournament going on for junior high children within the 501 school district, and there were concerns about the water leaking onto the court, causing even somebody to get hurt. We're coming into the spring, which is typically a rainy season. How quickly are we going to be able to get this addressed?
I think that they're ready to do it as soon as possible. It will take some time to get the supplies. I think what did we say, John? 60 days. 60 days, so it'll be a little bit of a lag before we're able to do it. Now, Midwest Coatings did go up there and make some emergency repairs. I think they've been up there twice.
Okay.
So we hope we've sort of stemmed the tide, but what they've done to this point is strictly temporary.
Okay. USD 501 uses this gymnasium as their gymnasium for the Robinson Middle School?
Correct?
Okay. So it's actively and pretty heavily used during the day?
Right. Yeah, they're using it all day, and we're using it in the evenings for our program, so very heavily used.
Questions?
No.
Yeah, I'd move for approval.
I'll second. Motion for approval by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider the request to solicit bids for parking lot renovations at Dornwood Park, which will include replacing the existing gravel lot with a hot mix asphalt lot.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation again. So this is just another step in the improvements that we're trying to make at Dornwood Park. We do have a master plan that was put together some years ago. I believe Commissioner Rippon played a big role in that. And we're loosely following that master plan, but if you've been at Dornwood, you've seen the parking lot. It's essentially gravel and dirt at this point. It needs to be addressed. So like I said, we've renovated the concession building there. We've done some renovations at the bathroom building. Obviously, the trail additions that have happened at the Dornwood Park over the last year or two. So this is just another step in sort of trying to revitalize Dornwood and the Dornwood Ball Diamonds. Be happy to answer any questions.
I'm glad to see that we're getting this done. Any other questions? I'll move for approval.
Second?
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item 5, public comment.
I'm not sure if we have anybody signed up, but if there is any member of the public, if you'll come to the podium and state your name.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Audrey Guzman. I just wanted to take the time to introduce myself. I'm the new administrator for Soldier Township. So I just wanted to come, say hi, put a face to the name, and I look forward to building a working relationship with you guys. I'm open if you guys have any questions or comments for myself.
So the administrator for the Soldier Township, tell those people that are maybe watching at home or in the public, what does the administrator do?
So I actually come from a background of city administration. So I've been a city administrator in the past. So I'm no stranger to administration in the public forum. Mainly, I am your direct contact. If you have any questions related to our Soldier Township duties, so mainly in our township, we have the fire department and then we have the road department. So those are the two things that we're focused on. Background, we do a little bit of everything. So it's hard to say all those different hats that we're hanging up, but finance and budgeting, essentially personnel management, that's in a nutshell. But if you guys have questions as far as anything road, fire related, or just a phone number,
Yep.
we're here to help. So
Well, I know we do get calls from time to time about roads and trying to figure out, is this a county road, state road, or township road? And so it's good to have a face with a name. So thank you,
yeah,
Ms.
I
Guzman, for
certainly
being
want to
here.
work on having better contacts and just that working relationship with you guys. That way things can run smoother for our residents. So
Great.
it's very important.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
guys.
coming.
Very good.
Yeah.
Any other persons signed up? Mr.
This
McClure?
is an epistle and not a sermon today. Keep it short. Henry McClure. I'm a resident of downtown Topeka. I guess that doesn't matter. I'm a resident of Shawnee County. Maybe Bill might be the only one to remember Charles Schultz. These young men might not. But if you think about the analogy of Lucy holding the football and Charlie Brown, that's what it's like to be a developer in Topeka, Kansas. And Topeka or Shawnee County, or more Topeka, is Lucy moving that football. And Charlie Brown just doesn't know any better. He keeps thinking, well, maybe this time she won't move the football. And there's a couple of things I would like to talk about, and there's a JETO meeting coming up. And I've got grave concerns about a deal that I've got going on the boulevard. And the pressure that Lucy's put on us now. And 2 years later, and so I'm not the spokesman for the owner of the shopping center. I sold him the shopping center in 2001 that the Macerich Company, my old company, worked for, developed in the 60s. And I've been a broker for him ever since. I brokered the mainline printing deal, and I've assisted him in the development of that property. But I'm not his spokesman. I'm Henry McClure, a real estate broker, my own business. So I recommended to him to, unlike me, play by the rules. Because I think that if you have a contractor in Go Topeka, well, I still think an individual ought to be able to come to the body politic and present deals. I just think that's my right as a citizen and a developer, because so I don't agree with certain things. A guy's still got to be able to come forward and have a voice. And so Sterling Scott, I just hope you guys could reach out to this guy. I'm going to send you the note that he sent to Molly, and Molly assured Sterling that she would get with the appropriate people. And I saw the JEDO agenda and it wasn't on it. And what has happened, and now this is just me, I haven't looked at the plans, I'm just hearing, but now they've moved from 32nd Street, where we had to get, in the 60s, we had to get KDOT to give us a traffic light, and at 32nd and Topeka, to where the end of our property is, which is, where Bennigan's and Wild Horse was, that main property. Well, now, 2 years ago, when I was helping him as a developer, we begged the city to put a traffic light there. We begged them, because an extra one right in front of Wendy's, because that's what our customers were telling us. Your property will be easier to develop if you had an extra traffic light. And not only did we get a no, we got a hell no. No, you're not going to get that light. Just forget about it. So we were then able to make 2 real estate deals anyway, based on, the first guy had so much juice and legs and everybody wanted him, that the other guy coming right next to him, so we have 2 deals in place, and we got them done without the additional traffic light. So the economics of the deal 2 years later would be different, or it would be 2 years in the future. In the past, we would have got more money for the deals with the traffic light. So not only is Lucy telling us to put the traffic light in today, they're telling us to go way out on Topeka Boulevard, and at the owner's expense, just because we got these deals, we're going to bring back the boulevard at our expense, and it's way too late. So I said, Sterling, this is, you ought to request some money through JEDO. You need to call Molly and do it right. How does the individual, how do we do things different in this community? And I'm going to tell you, there's a fellow named Howard Paul. I was talking to him the other day, and he's been a very successful real estate developer. One year, he did 65 Walgreens in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Boom. He did 14 deals in Kansas, and it seems like when he did the deals in Topeka, it was, everything came to a grinding halt. He had to sue a couple of times. It's just like, imagine trying to do 65 deals in Topeka at once. I'm still fighting to get a Pizza Hut deal. It's almost going on 2 years out on 29th in California. I mean, this is broken. But here's what Howard was telling me the other day. We lost another Brahms deal up on Highway 24. He had another Brahms, so Brahms wanted to come with 2 stores, bigger impact. He lost the deal because he couldn't get it through the engineering. And, you know, he's done well. And,
I'm gonna stop you right there. Is that city or county? You're talking engineering?
well, we're all in the county.
No. Are you
Your
talking?
district.
No, no. Are you, when you say engineering, are you at?
City.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can proceed.
Okay. I'm not here to pick on you guys. I'm here to tell you,
I just want to clarify if you're,
Hey, we're
if you're
cool.
lamenting about the city of Topeka or Shawnee County.
I ain't blaming Shawnee County,
All right.
but we're all one community.
We are.
It
Go
seems
ahead.
like, especially when it comes to buying hotels, at least there's a voice of reason. Thank you. And a guy that can identify that a garden, a flower bed is not economic development, I applaud you. Thank you. So back to Howard. So Howard has some interest in some banks, and he's talking to a couple of them. And he finds out that there's 11 deals that were not made due to not being able to get building permits in our community. And I don't know the background against those deals, but Howard's not gonna lie to me. He's a good dude. But Lucy moving that football today, and Charlie Brown actually here's trying to play by the rules. Hey, look, don't be guilty by association knowing me. So go through the process. And it's a shame that individual people, especially, I'm gonna go back onto this, 1.9 million in overhead to run a $5 million grant. This is wrong. And the longer everybody knows about it, if you're gonna keep condoning something wrong, so let's take one more step on Go Topeka. And it starts off with Choose Topeka, and it goes all the way up to the overhead. If you looked at Shawnee County like a mall, and I've got this mall thing, it's the way I grew up in the real estate business. And all we did was attract businesses. So if we've got the anchors in place, so what we need to do is we need to fill up the middle. That's why we need to do 100 little deals. And 100 little people coming in here, you know, begging like Oliver Twist for his gruel. You know, please, help me. We got to change how we're doing things. And it's not, and I'm going to tell you one thing that's very serious, and I'm very concerned about. Over my lifetime, I've created a media company to help promote my real estate business. Well, I started investing more of my money into my media business to help my business, but also help do media work for my clients. And then let's just talk about my First Amendment rights. The other day I made a video, and I guess it got a bunch of views and a bunch of attention, and it goes back to this Choose Topeka thing. I walked down into city council, and the police chief pulled me out of the meeting and said, hey, you can't talk about this Choose Topeka anymore in your social media. And now I like this police chief because he might have been my only friend down at the Travelers. He vacated that thing. We got, the Topeka Police Department. And I honestly will tell you, I don't think the police chief was really talking to me in his official capacity. I thought it was a friend. But as the thing marinated, I got to thinking about it because then it became a little unsettling with me. And I had made a video, so we went back in and we shook hands and we're friends, and I asked him to step back out with me, and I go, was it my video about the buses over at the Ramada? And he said, yeah, that's what it was about. He said that, sorry, excuse me. He said that he had to use some resources because it hit the federal level. So I did write a letter. I tried to request a meeting with the city manager and the police officer because my First Amendment rights shouldn't be I shouldn't be told. It made me a little nervous for my safety. You got a guy in uniform telling you what you can and can't say in this community? So it's tough to fight the system in Topeka. So was he following direction? Was Lucy, again, holding the football of my public media? So I'm coming to you guys as a voice of reason. So I'm going to send you Sterling's request. I'm not his spokesman. I'm just sharing with you some inside information. It would be terrible, that's your district, I think, the Boulevard. It would be terrible to lose those deals. But it's really bad to put so much pressure on the developer 2 years down the line. It's like, we got you now. We got you. And now you got to do all this to let you play. And that's not fair. We're trying to help Topeka. We're trying to do deals. And it's so tough to do it when you've got an organization that controls all the money that's really just a self-serving organization to make sure that they stay in power. So start considering the little guy. Please. If we can just get more people to say yes, the little guys, we can change Topeka. And somebody has to be a voice for the little people. I'll be that guy, I'll try. I'll go down in flames, completely ostracized from, going against the Greater Topeka Partnership. How can you do that? Who could you be? Who do you think you are? Well, I'm somebody that doesn't think the money's being spent appropriately because that's my money. And somebody's got to stand up for that. So thank you. Hope it didn't turn into a sermon. I hope it was just an epistle. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Henry, you might be best served if you contact the city public works, city manager, city council members, 9 of them, and the mayor. Those are the people that you seem to have.
The mayor has not called me back in 2 years. Our mayor has no respect for me. That's okay. Maybe I've earned that. I know the drill. I've been in real estate for 44 years. I'm here trying to talk to a higher power.
I appreciate you bringing it to us, but I think that a lot of your
It's a deaf
issues
ear.
are across the street. But
It's a deaf ear, but thank you.
thank you. Any other public comment? Any administrative comment? Any department head or employee that has issues or announcements?
Hello again, Jake Henry, Emergency Management. I just want to bring to everyone's attention that we have a statewide tornado drill. The National Weather Service is going to be putting on a tornado drill on at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, the 6th of March. That's Severe Weather Preparedness Week. So starting that week off also on the 4th at 7 p.m. we're going to have a storm spotter class partnered with the National Weather Service. It's going to be at Washburn University in the Memorial Student Union.
All right. Thank you. Good information.
Good morning again, Commissioners. John Lane, Director of the Weed Department. Just want to let you guys know that a couple weeks ago, Tyler DeWitt and myself attended K-State's drone school and passed, and so we were officially drone pilots, and so the training process will begin now. So we expect our drone here in the next few weeks, and then we'll start doing a bunch of flight time before we actually put it in play. So
Great.
Congratulations.
Don't crash it.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation. I think that we have to refer to John as Captain Landon now because he's a pilot. So I told him I'd do that. Several of us attended our state Kansas Recreation and Park Association conference last week, and it was tremendous. I thought they did a really good job. We were in Wichita, and some of the things that I attended and staff attended, we learned about foundation development, which I think will help us here, park and trail development, public and private partnerships, public engagement, and AI, how parks and recreation departments are using AI to their benefit. So it was worth our time, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to go. And I got a few numbers, preliminary numbers from TARC on Winter Wonderland. I don't want to go into too much detail because I know they'll come up and give us a little show, but they did very well. Made over $230,000 this year, had over 9,000 cars, and that was with having to close on 4 different nights because of the weather. So, but attended very well, and I'm sure we'll get a full presentation on that pretty soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have one more announcement, don't you?
I didn't know whether you wanted to talk about it. I'll bring it up, and then you can elaborate. We are planning on doing a groundbreaking for the Oakland Pool project next Thursday at 1 o'clock. So we hope to have a lot of people there in attendance, and I know we're still working with the city on getting permits and things lined out, but you should see some dirt turning there, other than the groundbreaking, pretty soon. So.
Sounds great. I'm looking very forward to that.
Yeah, I'm
Next
excited.
Thursday, 1 o'clock at the Oakland Community Center?
Correct.
All right.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Rippon?
I have nothing to report.
Commissioner Mays?
It's County Day at the Capitol today, so I know we've got some folks from Shawnee County that are over there helping out, and I'll be over there a little bit later. And go Chiefs.
There you go. I was hoping you wouldn't forget that one. I think we've covered it all, and I'm looking forward to this groundbreaking at the Oakland Aquatic Facility at the Oakland Community Center next Thursday, again at 1 o'clock. I don't have anything additional. Our next item.
Executive sessions?
It does not appear that we need one today. With that, we are adjourned.